There. An inquest into the death of a mother whose shooting sparked the 1985 Brixton riots began today. Cherry Groce was shot by armed officers during a police raid 29 years ago and died of her injuries in 2011. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Guy Smith.
He was only 11 years old when he saw his mother lying on the floor bleeding at their home in Brixton. She'd been shot by an armed police officer. Today, he told an inquest jury he was screaming and shouting repeatedly, "What have you done to my mum?" He then said he heard her saying, "I can't feel my legs, I can't breathe, I'm going to die." He said he became hysterical, but the officer pointed the gun at me and told me to shut up. Cherry Groce was left paralysed and confined to a wheelchair. She died from her injuries in 2011. 26 years after the shooting. A shooting that provoked a riot in Brixton and raised questions at the time about policing the black community and the use of lethal force. Police had been looking for her son, Michael Groce, described as extremely dangerous. He was suspected of carrying out an armed robbery in Hertfordshire. On a Thursday in September 1985, at an address in London, he pointed a shotgun at a Hertfordshire police officer and then disappeared. The next day, armed officers from the Met carried out a series of searches and raids. But it wasn't until early the next morning they targeted his family home and shot his mother. The jury heard there were serious deficiencies in how the armed raid was carried out. There was a lack of information about the layout of the property and details of who was inside. An independent review by West Yorkshire Police found grave risks were created for both the public and the police. Risks that should have been avoided. It's taken the family of Cherry Groce the past 3 years since her death to secure legal aid so they can be represented at an inquest. Tomorrow the jury is due to hear from the officer who shot her. Guy Smith, BBC London News, Southwark Coroner's Court.